Well, this guy, Alan, I'm going to bring him on, but I'm going to introduce you really quickly. This is Roger Scheck, director from Los Angeles, who told me he was inspired to get into film because of you. And he's directed a great feature called Nobody Loves Alice, and I'm doing 2 films for him this year. So, Roger, you're on the line with David Hess.
Are you recruiting me, Roger? Is that what you're doing? Is that what you're trying to do? Because I won't give you my fucking phone number. No, that's not true.
You have been a huge inspiration to me.
Thank you.
I'm really kind of at awe to even be on the phone with you because, I watched Last House on the Left, and it was the reason I started making movies. I actually paid $50 for a bad VHS dub of Hitch-Hike out of Miami Beach just because I couldn't find it at the time, before the advent of
But it never took you for a ride. I could have gotten you one.
Well, I didn't know you at the time. I'd have loved that. So yeah.
Well, if you need one, now you can get a copy. I think it's out on DVD now. I'm not sure, but I think it is. It's.
Yeah, but they
or is
actually
it
have
not?
it on Netflix now, even.
So they haven't released it on DVD yet?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. You can get it on Netflix. You can also get
It is on DVD because I have it. Yes. So Roger, you were telling me, obviously, though, as you said, this guy David, who is a great guy, by the way. You've been listening. I know you've been waiting patiently, to come on. I mean, dude. I mean, this is a guy that you've got 2 to 3 films coming up because I'm in at least 2 of them, and the third one if I play my cards right. So this David Hess guy is somebody you need to talk to.
Stop begging, Parrish. That's what an actor should never do. Never beg. Can I be in your next film, please, Roger?
Yes. I'll write a role.
You see, David. You see, I mean, this is how easy. I mean, understand now. Seriously, on a serious note, you've got a legion of people out there who literally, are in film, making films, directing, writing, acting, or whatever, because of a film or a group of films, a series of films that you did, and that's kick-ass. I'm sorry. There's no other way to describe it. I know you don't like to talk about yourself, but for those of us who will talk highly of you, that's a kick-ass thing to have achieved, man, that kind of following.
Well, I just all I can say is thank you. I mean, it's nothing that. Well, okay. Let me be a little serious at this point. When I take the time to think about it, which is really just kind of in a flash, then I think I understand that I have made a certain impact. But I don't want to think about it any more than that. And usually when it comes up, it's because somebody reminds me of it.
Right.
Because if I think about it any more than that, then what I've done is I've cheated myself.
Right.
I've cheated myself. I start thinking in terms, and I tell this to everybody out there, you girls, guys that are all would-be and potential actors and actresses. Don't take yourself seriously. Don't read your fucking press unless you read it with tongue in cheek, et cetera, because reviews are great and reviews are bad. But if you get your name out there, make sure they spell it right. Don't take it seriously. Just do what you have to do. It'll come back to you.
Exactly. I tell a lot of actors, in fact, in a few of the movies that I've done, we get great reviews, we get negative reviews, and I know one actor, a good friend who has allowed those reviews to, the good ones, he's up on a high. The bad ones, get him way down. I said, you can't fucking let that bother you. You just say, you don't worry about it. People, when you become an actor, and in fact, I talked to Roger about this, as an actor, you become a product. Like Coca-Cola or Pepsi. Some people like Coke, some people like Pepsi-Cola. Hey, not everybody's going to like you. You have to accept that, the good with the bad. Some people like you, some people don't,
Oh, man, I thought everybody liked me.
Come on.
Hey, Roger, you still there?
David, I'm still here.
I wanted to give me a heads up of what's going on in on our end of the industry down in LA. I get reports, occasionally, but it seems to me that independent films are slower down in LA than they are in the rest of the United States, and that's disturbing to me.
It's almost impossible to make a movie here with no budget or a studio behind you. Location fees alone will eat you alive. I mean, permits are $750 a day. It's just, that's why I'm going to Texas to make movies, because I can afford to do it there. And, actors should get paid a fortune. I would love to pay everybody what they're worth, but honestly, if I don't always have the money to pay what people are worth. So I rely on the product being good enough for people to be a part of it.
I think that's the best thing you possibly can do. If you have good product, you got a good script, then people will come.
David, I have wanted to talk to you for like 15 years now. I really don't want to undersell this, because The Last House on the Left is the movie that is the reason I realized I could make movies. I had watched movies, and my friends said, "Do you ever think about making movies?" And I said, "No. I mean, that's impossible. You can't afford to make movies." And I saw Last House on the Left. Living in Oklahoma, growing up in Oklahoma, that could have been made in my backyard. So suddenly it became a reality to me. I know how to make movies, or I can at least attempt it now. So the movie is just, you brought something to it that a lot of people don't have, which is a shame, because I don't even know how to explain it. But like in the remake, for instance, there's no heart. These characters, they're just fucking bad guys. And Krug, the way you portrayed him, was a guy, you probably could have hung out with him on a different day, but not this day. There was a heart, there was a believability, a reality to him that it's just not in a lot of performances today.
Well, he was caught up in a situation. I think that there is no such thing as a strictly bad guy. I've always felt that. I mean, even when I was doing, off Broadway and things like that, it just was never. There wasn't black and white, And I used to spend a lot of time with John Cassavetes, who was, for me, is like, he was one of my best friends. But what he did for the film industry is just incredible. I mean, and he will be known for centuries, just for having probably changed the film industry more than anybody else in terms of that whole ensemble kind of thing that creates this incredible tension, unbearable tension, because you don't have any place to move. You feel like you're being shot. Anyway. What I always used as a metaphor, if I was playing a bad guy, and I still do, is that, remember, playing a bad guy is Heart of Darkness. You are being drawn in, to the dark, as opposed to choosing the light. So that it's not a black and white situation. And I wish that more people that played the heavies in films understood that they can be light, that they can be they can go against character and go against grain. There'll be opportunities for them to do it, but they don't seem to take it, Roger. They just don't seem to take those opportunities, and maybe that's what's the difference between a journeyman actor or somebody that really respects their craft enough to experiment with it. You're not going to win all the time, but at least you're experimenting.
Exactly.
Absolutely. They talk about it on the director's cut, but it's like during the terrible rape scene in the film, it's like these guys even lost control of their own viciousness, which they weren't. I don't know. It's just fascinating the way that, and you were amazing, but it was the ensemble, like you were talking about earlier. The entire cast just worked together.
Yeah, I don't know how that happened. It's like I said before, it's magic when it happens. So, you don't really look for it, but you want it to happen, and then all of a sudden it happens.
Well, let me ask you this,